We are the most connected generation in human history, yet we are the least connected to ourselves. We spend 11 hours a day consuming digital noise. We chase dopamine loops that hijack our attention. We wonder why, despite every productivity app, we feel out of control. You have tried the atomic habits. You have tried the 5-second rule. You have bought planners and watched aesthetic morning routines. Yet here you are, still stuck and frustrated, still fighting the same urges every single day, still waking up with that heavy feeling of unfulfilled potential. The truth is, you do not have a willpower problem. You have a system problem instead. In 1904, a Japanese housewife named Hani Motoko changed discipline psychology forever. She did not invent a quick hack or shortcut. She did not give you a checklist to follow. She invented a mirror for self-recognition and change. While the West focuses on adding new habits, we often force change. The West often tries to make us someone we are not. The Japanese focus on subtracting the ego to reveal truth. Today, I will deconstruct the two-pillar system, Hansei and Kakeibo. This system can break a 10-year addiction in 30 days. But pay attention, because there is a hidden bridge between them. If you miss that bridge, you will have just another notebook full of dreams. Why is it so hard to stop a bad habit? Science tells us our brains are wired for survival, not happiness. Your brain does not care if you are successful or fulfilled. It only cares that you feel safe and comfortable. In the 21st century, comfort becomes a behavioral trap. Consider the dopamine loop that rewards quick escapes. Every time you feel stress or a flicker of boredom, you reach for your phone. Your hand moves toward your phone before you realize a decision was made. This is not a lack of character. It is a biological reflex. You are reinforcing a neural pathway that links discomfort with escape. Over time, that pathway becomes a 10-lane highway in your brain. This is why you scroll short-form videos for 40 minutes automatically. You often cannot remember even opening the app afterwards. Your conscious mind, the part that wants to be great, has been evicted. You have become a biological algorithm responding to triggers. Modern self-help tells you to fight these urges with grit. But fighting an urge is like fighting a wave at sea. Fighting the wave eventually exhausts you and drains your energy. The ocean always wins when you battle its rhythm directly. The Japanese approach is different and less confrontational. They do not fight the wave, they observe the ocean instead. They realized, you must change how you see before you change what you do. Most of us live in a fever dream of reactive behavior. We react to notifications instead of creating our priorities. You react to cravings rather than noticing their triggers. We react to our own laziness without examination. To break the cycle, we need to induce a system shock. We need a tool that forces the brain to face itself. Pillar 1 is Hansei, a disciplined method of reflection. In English, we translate Hansei as reflection, but that sounds soft. The original meaning of Hansei carries much more weight and discipline. In Japan, Hansei is a gut-level recognition of one's own mistakes. It is the art of brutal honesty without falling into self-hatred. Think about the last time you failed your diet. Think about when you skipped the gym this month. Think about when you wasted 4 hours on a digital binge. You probably felt shame after those moments. But shame is a useless emotion that only makes you hide. When you hide, you repeat the mistake in secret and remain stuck. Hansei, however, reframes that feeling into responsibility and learning. Here is how you perform the Hansei ritual each night. It is not an app on your phone and avoids digital traps. In fact, if your phone is in the room, the ritual is void. Every night, before lights out, you sit with a physical notebook. You perform a practice called the pre-sleep audit in that notebook. This audit is where you reclaim the parts of yourself you lost. You ask yourself 3 specific piercing questions called metacognitive anchors. First, where exactly did I lose my focus today? Be specific. Do not say I was lazy. Give a precise time and action. For example, at 2:15 p.m., I opened my laptop to work, but instead I spent 45 minutes on news sites and social feeds. Second, what was the trigger that led to the distraction today? This part is the most important of the audit process. Was it a feeling of inadequacy that pushed you away from work? Was it a loud noise in the office that broke your focus? Was it a specific person's post that made you feel behind in life? You are looking for the why behind the what in each lapse. Third, What is the minimum viable correction for tomorrow? One small change. Not a 10-step plan, just one small practical adjustment for the next day. Hansei creates a cognitive break in your autopilot routine. By writing down your failure, you move it from emotion to logic. You shift the memory from the limbic system to the prefrontal cortex. You stop being the mistake and start analyzing the mistake instead. That analysis is the only reliable way to kill a habit long term. You are not a procrastinator. You have a procrastination bug in your system. Hansei acts as the debugger for that behavioral bug. Pillar 2 is Kakeibo, the practice of conscious budgeting of energy. Hansei alone is not enough. You need a tactical map to act. Without a map, you will reflect and get lost again tomorrow. This is where Kakeibo provides a precise account of your energy spending. Most people know Kakeibo as a Japanese money budgeting system. The true masters use Kakeibo for energy budgeting and life management. Every bad habit carries a cost beyond dollars. It costs life force. When you give attention to toxic arguments, you spend focus capital. Attention diverted to a mindless game is focus permanently lost. Unlike money, lost focus cannot be earned back once it is gone. Once you lose that focus, that part of your life is effectively dead. Imagine your daily energy as a bank account with exactly 100 units. Kakeibo forces you to track where those 100 units go with precision. To break a habit, divide daily actions into 4 ruthless categories. 1. The essentials, the pillars of your existence and survival. Essentials include sleep, nutrition, and deep work that advances your career. 2. The growth, the seeds you plant for future improvement. Growth includes reading, meditating, and learning new useful skills. 3. The culture, genuine relaxation that replenishes your energy. Culture includes a conversation with a friend or a walk in nature. Culture also includes a meal enjoyed without any screens present. 4. The waste, the enemy that devours your focus and time. Waste appears as digital junk food that feels momentarily satisfying. Waste shows up as mindless scrolling that produces no real value. Waste also looks like complaining and productivity theater, where you appear busy. Kakeibo requires you to audit and review your waste category every Sunday. There is a psychological phenomenon called the observer effect at work. The mere act of observing a process inevitably changes that process. Seeing in your handwriting that you spent 20 hours on waste triggers discomfort. That discomfort is cognitive dissonance that forces internal reevaluation. Your subconscious realizes your current self is harming your future self. The waste no longer feels like a reward and begins to feel like a wound. That wound is when the hidden bridge between reflection and action appears. Before discussing the bridge, we must address the void inside you. The reason you return to bad habits is fear of silence. The moment you stop doing, your brain begins to feel uncomfortable emotions. It feels anxiety about the future that you try to avoid. It feels regrets about the past that pull your attention away. It feels pressure about the present that pushes you toward distraction. To avoid those feelings, you reach for a distraction automatically. You fill the void with noise and constant stimuli to escape feeling. The Japanese practice ma emphasizes the beauty of the space between things. To use Hansei and Kakeibo successfully, you must learn to sit in ma. In your 30-day journey, implement a 10-minute void every evening. Between finishing work and starting your evening, do absolutely nothing for 10 minutes. No podcast, no chores, no scrolling, just sit in silence and breathe. This void allows the dust of the day to settle inside your mind. It allows your Hansei reflections to actually take root and guide change. Without Ma, Hansei becomes a list, and Kakeibo becomes a dry ledger. With Ma, both practices become a genuine transformation of your life. In that silence, you realize you do not need the bad habit anymore. The habit was merely a plug for a hole in your soul. When you stop fearing the hole, the habit loses power over you. You start realizing discipline is not a cage, but the key to freedom. The bridge that connects reflection to results is the practice of Kaizen. Most people watch a video and try to change everything by Monday morning. They wake up and attempt an hour of meditation to transform themselves. They attempt 8 hours of work and eat nothing but greens all day. They fail quickly because the amygdala sees sudden change as a threat. That threat triggers fight or flight, which manifests as massive procrastination. The Japanese secret is using Hansei and Kakeibo to find the one shift. If you want to stop a 10-year habit, do not try to be a monk tomorrow. Use Hansei to discover why you are hiding from your work. Use Kakeibo to see exactly where your focus is leaking away. Then use Kaizen to add just 1% more effort each day. Work 5 minutes more than you did today as your Kaizen step. Or leave your phone in another room for just 10 minutes longer. That small change is the loop that creates sustainable progress. 30 days of Hansei, 30 days of Kakeibo, and 1% Kaizen. If you commit fully, by day 30, you will have new habits and identity. You will become the person who holds the mirror, not the one who hides. You will be the engineer of your life force, not a victim. The digital noise waits for you the moment you close this video. It wants your dopamine, attention, and the best parts of you. It wants your life force, and for you to stay small and passive. But tonight the mirror is in your hands, waiting for your gaze. Tonight, the ledger is open, and your energy accounting begins. Will you look into the mirror and face your truths, or will you keep scrolling and avoid the discomfort of change? The choice has always been yours to make. No excuses remain. Now, you no longer have the excuse of not knowing what to do.